I am Geoffrey Villandwen in the Gwined campaign from Thrones of Britannia. The man on the right here is our king, onward, and in the last episode he defeated Mercia. So Mercia is out of the way. However, Brechinnoch, one of the South Welsh factions, has gone to war against us. It is not one of our king's brothers, so we are okay with fighting against them. And Anarod had a son, or a daughter, Gwelian. We have been given an objective to take this place, this city. One of our governors, the governor of Aberfro, has also had a daughter. The Anglo-Saxons are at war with themselves, so North Leod and Northumbria are now at war with each other. Fingale, one of the Irish factions, have died out.
My warriors will not falter.
And we are now attacking this place, Oswaldstro. So there was a rebellion in Oswaldstro. It was a Powys province, but they were unable to quash the rebellion, so we've taken over. We've sent two of our generals with a very small army. The enemy army, as you can see, is twice as big, but they are rebels. Hopefully we can defeat them. We have our very capable General Morcant here. He's commanding the main army. And the rebel army is commanded by a man whose name I cannot pronounce. It's full of vowels. I, E, U, F. Something like that. And it looks like we are fighting in the open, flat country. A very unusual thing for Wales. Oh, and we have a lovely mountain in the background. It must be Snowdon. The weather is dry. And here's our army. And one of the other generals is coming to our aid. He will fight as cavalry. Here he is, our reinforcements. With Snowdon in the background. Very, very nice. Well, if you thought Japan was much more beautiful than Great Britain, you have to rethink. They've done a very nice job with the map, and both at the battle level and also at the campaign level. So here's our enemy, some rebels. Here's their infantry. They have spearmen, they have archers, they also have some dogs, trained dogs. So we're going to see the dogs in action, the war dogs. And here's this place, this small village. It has a mine, very nice, very impressive. It has a mine, and I think it also has something else. I can't remember what. A church maybe? No, not a church. Definitely has a mine though, and it looks like the mine is active. It's not an abandoned mine because there's fire around. And here's the rest of the village. Again, very nice job by Creative Assembly, by Jack Laster teams. A very lovely house here. Wouldn't you like to live in this? And here's our army. Here's our commander and the reinforcements, the two generals. We have 3 cavalry units. One of them is, all of them actually are missile units. 2 of them are bodyguards, and 1 of them is a scout cavalry unit. And we only have 2 units of spearmen as infantry. So we are definitely outnumbered in terms of infantry. We are in equal strength in terms of cavalry. And here's the enemy commander, the rebel leader. He looks awesome. I wish he had joined our army. He looked very impressive. So here's our infantry. They are stealthily approaching the enemy lines. They are going through the trees. Once again, Snowdon in the background. It's a long way to get to our enemy. I wish they wouldn't set up so far away. So more views of our army as it's marching to battle. So the enemy is now across those trees on the other side of this little copse of trees. And we're ready to go into battle. An American guy complained that I say battle rather than battle. We're going into battle. Well, in England we're going into battle. So nothing's going on. My men are trying to tease the enemy and provoke them, tell them how silly they are to rebel against their seniors, but the enemy's not attacking, even though they have an army twice as big as ours. Okay, so we have to go into battle. Okay, incoming charge. Yes, indeed. They're about to shoot some arrows, so you better start shooting. So the rebels managed to shoot a volley. At most they can get 2 volleys in, I think. So archers are not all that useful unless they're defending in a siege-like situation. Wow, awesome. I wish the charge had a little bit more force, you know, there was some kind of impact. Okay, and the AI very often does this mistake. They attack with their cavalry our line. They don't always do, sometimes they do. Here the dogs, they don't look so fierce, they look silly. Come on, I've seen fiercer dogs than these. Okay, here's our cavalry. Here's their general, so we're going to attack their general. Right, and here we're fighting the enemy general. We have some cavalry here. We have some infantry somewhere. I'm not sure where they are at the moment. Okay, looks like we've won this battle, and we are now taking prisoners.
Guard the flanks! We're in missile range!
Okay, these men are celebrating. We have won indeed. Very nice. And most of the time it runs very smoothly. Sometimes there's just a tiny bit of breaking up now and then. Sometimes it's just like the charge into battle. There's some situations like this where there's a little bit of breaking up now and then. But the game runs most of the time really well. that was a victory. A victory against the odds. Here it is. We're fighting 1v2 and we lost 100 men. The enemy lost 5 times as many. Almost. Our men are rather depleted but victorious. And the rebel army has been destroyed. Oswald's trough is ours with its mine. So we will occupy, since we are brothers, Welsh brothers. This was a province of Powys, belonged to Powys, but they lost it. They couldn't take it back. And this rebel force is getting stronger and stronger, so we had to attack. So the enemy commander has died. We've gained in heroism, thanks to Mokhant, a very capable general. He was the one who conquered most of Mercia, going from province to province, taking all the estates.
We will serve you well.
And he's even gained some skill. He's gained a follower. He's a pillager. He was pillaging the land of Mercia in his campaign. And quartermaster is a very good trait. It's nice to have a capable quartermaster in our army. And so here are our lands. As you can see, green is our faction, yellow is our allies. There are some rebels hanging about. Seiselwig is now also a full ally of ours. Here's an overview of the map. Here's our faction in yellow, in green are our allies, and in dark green, and in pale green are friendly nations. So we have plenty of friendly nations, very few who don't like us. We are very much liked across Britain. And this is the situation with the wealth. The province we took was a very wealthy province, this estate. And public order is low because they were rebels. They had rebelled against us. And here is the situation with food. Is not really all that important. And we're off to a little bit of diplomacy. No, actually I was just checking and clicking something and I accidentally clicked on the diplomacy map. I wasn't interested in a diplomatic deal with Breckinnock. But you see them, they have no friends. Why did they go to war against Powys? I don't know. So here again the victory conditions. We've taken we've taken 18 settlements, we need 40. And we control 2 provinces, we need to control 10. No big deal. We're still at the beginning of the campaign, we have a long way to go. Call to arms. Powys has attacked Duet. Why did they do that? So Duet is another Welsh faction. It's not one of our brothers. It's not a brother, but it's an independent Welsh faction down south, on where Pembroke is today. The southern tip of Wales. Oh, there's been a windstorm, has damaged some building in Aberfro. I guess Aberfro is very exposed to the wind. Okay, it's damaged. All the buildings, everything is damaged. Goodness. Thank God we have money from the campaign. We've made money from the campaign. Everything has been damaged in Aberfro. Okay. Kawalada has also gained a trait. He has a bard, increases his zeal. Not a very useful thing. So he's got a scribe. It's not very useful for a governor. I think zeal helps in battle. I'm not sure it will help governors very much. Why did I give him a zeal? So Powys is now at war with Duet. And we have a sheephead in Wiggerchester. Whatever that is. It says here we can put a war coordination target if we want to. That's fine. So here is the center of our kingdom. And there are the various factions here. This is Brackinock. We've set a coordination target on them. They only have one province. This other faction has conquered, there are some Vikings, I think. They've conquered 2 settlements, they've taken them, they had rebelled. There were settlements that belonged to Powys, they rebelled, and then they were taken by an army, a ravaging army that was going through Powys. Didn't attack Powys, but it took those 2 settlements from rebels. Anyway, so here we have attacked that Brackinock army in their country, in their one and only settlement. And here's our King Anarod. Looks like the odds are even, and the 2 armies are of similar size, so that will be an interesting battle. Okay. Let's go. Right. So, both sides have spearmen, ours are clearly better. I think we have a better army from what I can see. Our army has more experience. And we have a larger number of heavy guys. They have slightly more missile people and more cavalry. Let's see what they're going to do with their cavalry. So we have the option of a dry day, but as the enemy has a lot of archers, it would be better to fight in the rain. So we can wait and we can fight in the rain. So here's our glorious army from above.
Strike them hard!
Here's some cavalry and on the flanks behind the infantry. So we have a more deep formation since the enemy is strong in cavalry that could outflank us. So we have a somewhat squarish formation. And here's the enemy. The enemy is retreating westward. It's always better to defend as far back as you can, I suppose. Here's our king. And here's our glorious army.
We'll ruin their
So what we've done is we've put our heavy units at the front in a long line, 4 men deep. And the spearmen are on the flanks to protect against enemy cavalry attacks. And behind the spearmen, there are 2 groups of spearmen as flank guards, as wing guards. Behind them is our cavalry. And here's this very heavy unit. It's a very nice unit. They're called Royal Spearmen. It is probably one of the best units the Welsh can get. And here is King Anarod. He looks like he means business. Here are again those heavy spearmen, the royal spearmen, with King Anarod behind. And here's again our formation. It looks very well organized, much nicer than the shallow formation the enemy has.
We're coming for you!
And our cavalry is well protected at the back since the enemy has a lot more cavalry. So the enemy has 5 cavalry units, we have 3 including our general's bodyguard. But we have much superior infantry. Just these heavy units here can easily win the infantry fight. And here are some archers.
We'll
They are behind the main line. Here's our main line. We have swordsmen and axemen here. These are medium units, you could say. So you see there are some axemen as well as swordsmen. And we're going into battle. The enemy are starting shooting at us as we are racing to the enemy lines. Well, they managed to get the second volley in. And now the two lines clash. So the archers only managed to get 2 volleys in. That was it. Now our infantry has clashed. Here we have clear superiority. And this is one thing that the AI often does. If you have a very long line of infantry and the flanks are protected by spearmen, it sends its cavalry down the middle. But of course there was a melee already going on, so the cavalry charges are very ineffective. In the meantime, our spearmen and our cavalry are now moving on the flanks, which have been freed, the flanks of our enemy. You can see them in the distance, and now we are flanking the enemy. Although we had less cavalry, we're now flanking the enemy with our cavalry, with our spearmen. And the melee here is rather fierce, so you can see the Welsh have attacked the cavalry. Now some of the cavalry is pulling back. And here's a view from above, just to get an idea of the strategic situation. You see we have sent some units to the flank, some of our cavalry is already operating in the rear, and our heavy units are holding the center. And they are being successful in the center, units are routing. Here's the enemy general. He's been engaged with some of our infantry, some of our spearmen. And the fighting here continues, but we've basically won the battle. Okay, the last few units of the enemy have been routed. Ragnarok is no more. They have been crushed. Okay, decisive victory. So, we lost 215 men, the enemy lost 1419, almost 7 times as many. That's pretty good. So, no big deal, we just lost a few spearmen and a few axemen, it looks like it. The cavalry is almost intact. Nothing happened to our archers, the enemy has been destroyed. A decisive victory. Our enemies no more. Land course, the settlement has been captured. You have the option to sack it. We will sack it. It will give us a lot of money.
Right now.
And the enemy king has died and Brackenock is practically destroyed now, and we can either subjugate now or occupy. If we subjugate, they will come back as a faction. If we occupy, it will be ours. I'll be honorable towards my 2 brothers who live together as rulers of Wales, but I don't care too much about the other Wales factions as long as I don't do anything too cruel. So that was the end of this episode. Thank you for watching.